Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Morgan, number 2 would be Don't Breathe, number 3 would be Suicide Squad, number 4 would be Kubo and the Two Strings, and number 5 would be The Light Between Oceans. And unfortunately, I once again only get 1 out of 5 of my predictions right. What am I doing in my life? I have no idea. Let's go over what actually happened. Number 1 was once again Don't Breathe. This honestly really shocked me. I didn't expect it to get number 1 again, but here we are. It made $15 million this weekend, and that adds to a total of $51 million. So it's proving to be a really good horror film end of summer hit, which I'm very pleased by because I love Don't Breathe a lot, and I'm glad that it's getting so much praise because it really does deserve it. But anyways, number 2 was Suicide Squad. This weekend it made $10 million, and that adds to a total of $297 million, which is very good. It's only $3 million away from getting past the $300 million mark, which is fine. And last week I kind of went on a tangent about how it must be disappointing for Warner Brothers that it didn't surpass that level, but really it still made a lot of money. I don't want that to make it seem like this movie's a financial failure or anything. It's still doing well, and I believe it's made even more money worldwide too, so that's always good. It's just I thought that maybe Warner Brothers would have thought it'd get past it, but it's still fine that it made this much, even though I was personally disappointed by it. But if you liked it, that's great. I don't know why I have to keep saying that, but whatever. Anyways, number 3, a movie that honestly shocked me. I had no idea that this movie was going to rise from the ashes and get onto the number 3 spot, that movie being Pete's Dragon. This weekend it made $6,471,000, and that adds to a total of $64 million, only $1 million away from its $65 million budget. And even though the gross didn't get any higher as far as the weekend went, it actually did drop because last weekend it made like 7 or 8 million. It still dropped from that number, but it went up in the numbers this weekend because the other films didn't get as much money. That honestly really shocked me, to say the least. I was so surprised that somehow more people went out to see Pete's Dragon than the other films, and it slightly beat out the number 4 spot. That honestly really did shock me, and I'm glad that it is almost about to cross its budget, so it's not a total box office failure. Anyways, number 4, the movie that almost beat Pete's Dragon and might still tomorrow, Kubo and the Two Strings. This weekend it made $6,467,000, so it is very close with Pete's Dragon. So tomorrow when the official numbers come out, they might be a little off, but still, the weekend estimates usually get it right for the most part, so this is why we're doing it. It made a total of $34 million, and unfortunately it's still only $26 million away from its $60 million budget, but I am glad that this movie is still in the top 5, proving that this film does have a little bit of staying power. And also each weekend the gross hasn't really dropped all that much. It definitely has dropped, but not by a whole lot, and I'm very happy that it's actually kind of sticking around, even though I'm not sure if it will next weekend as far as the top 5 goes. But anyways, number 5 was Sausage Party. This weekend it made $5 million, and that adds to a total of $88 million. It is only $12 million away from getting $100 million domestically, and I'm not sure if it'll cross it, but then again, it might be able to. I'd be really happy, honestly, to see it cross over $100 million domestically, and if it did, I'd probably cry for joy because Sausage Party is a very funny movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I'd love it to make a lot of money, even if the animators weren't treated as well as they probably should have. That kind of sucks. But anyways, number 6 was The Light Between Oceans. Now, I wasn't really surprised that this movie made this amount of money. I'm not surprised that it didn't crack the top 5 because it didn't really have that much marketing for it, and it only opened in about 1,000 or so theaters, so it's not really that much of a surprise. But the other movie, you might be wondering, Jackson, where's the movie you predicted to be number 1? Just you wait. But anyways, The Light Between Oceans made $4,984,000 this weekend. And if you're thinking, oh, well, it's not that big a movie, so it's doing good, wrong, because it has a budget of $20 million. So opening up with $4,984,000, that's not very good for the film. And maybe it's because of the marketing, because I didn't really see that many ads for it. Maybe they could have plastered from the director of The Place Beyond the Pines up there, because a lot of people did love that film. I don't know, just they could have probably done something to get this movie out in the public eye a little more, but whatever. Number 7 is a real travesty. Bad Moms made $4,740,000 this weekend, and it crossed over the $100 million line domestically. It now has a total gross of $102 million. What have we done? Now I am scared now that they actually are going to try to make a Bad Moms 2 because of the success this film had. I am honestly in total disbelief over it, and I really hate life right now. Why, people, why are you still seeing this movie? Oh, well, anyways, number 8 was War Dogs. This weekend it made $4,705,000. Just 35,000 more, and it would have made more than Bad Moms. Who cares? And it has a total of $35 million. So only $5 million away from crossing its $40 million budget, which I think it'll probably be able to get by next week unless a lot of people just stop seeing War Dogs and only gets like 37 million next weekend. That might happen, but I don't really think it could happen. But I bet it would be a big bummer to the studio. But I think it's doing all right. It's definitely not making the big numbers that the Hangover trilogy did, but it's still doing okay as far as a comedy goes. Anyways, number 9 is Hell or High Water, actually getting into the top 10 this weekend. It's been out for a while, but an extreme limited release. But I guess it expanded into more theaters and actually got into the number 9 spot. It made $4,500,000 this weekend, and that adds to a total of $14 million. And this is only on a budget of $12 million, so it's doing very good. And I actually heard praise about this movie, not just on the internet, but from my grandmother. She praised this film, and my uncle, who saw it with her, praised this movie too. So I'm probably going to have to see it at some point, because apparently it's terrific, and it actually does look pretty terrific, so I can't wait to watch it. And finally, number 10 was Mechanic Resurrection. This weekend it made $4,276,000, and that adds to a total of $14 million. Only $26 million away from its $40 million budget. And BTW, which stands for By the Way, I actually watched this film 2 days ago, and I should probably do a review of it. I definitely have a lot of things to say about this film. But anyways, you might be wondering, Jackson, where was your number 1 prediction, Morgan? That actually opened up at the number 17 spot. Yeah, last year we had We Are Your Friends. I predicted that to open at number 1, and that opened extremely low. And this year we have Morgan. I predicted that to be number 1, and it's at the number 17 spot. What the heck? It only made like a $1 million this weekend, and this is only on a budget of $8 million. Not that big a budget, but it's still open lower than it. I don't understand. I thought people would probably go see it, but apparently not. That's kind of a shame if you think about it. And now the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. Now, there are 2 movies on my predictions that I'm not entirely sure if they'll end up on there due to some uncertainty between Box Office Mojo and IMDb as far as release goes, but here we go. I'm going to predict that number 1 will be Sully. I think a lot of people are going to be interested to see this one. Then I'm going to say number 2 is When the Bow Breaks. I'm going to say number 3 is Don't Breathe. And these are the 2 I'm a little concerned about. I'm going to say number 4 will be The Wildlife, an animated film that you probably haven't heard of, but apparently it's opening in 2,200 theaters, so maybe that's important. And then number 5, a movie that's only opening in about 1,000 theaters, The Disappointments Room. And normally I wouldn't probably predict movies like The Wildlife or The Disappointments Room, but since a lot of the movies have dropped as far as gross goes this weekend, like Peach Dragon only making 6, or Suicide Squad only getting 10, I can only imagine that maybe these 2 movies actually have a chance to beat them. So I don't know what's going to happen. I might have these predictions wrong, but you know what? I'm going to go with that. So what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave them in the comments below. And if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right then, whoops. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.